Hundreds of small business owners in Milwaukee say they have private security to keep you safe, but many of those workers are unlicensed and untrained.
FOX6 investigator Brian Polson finds some are violent convicted felons. He's live in studio with a legal battle over who's guarding the door.
At Ben and Steph, when a convicted murderer shot and killed a man for shoplifting snack cakes last summer, the public outcry led to a new Milwaukee ordinance. It requires private security workers to get a city license and a background check. Now, some powerful forces in the Milwaukee business community are fighting to kill it.
She's got 2 uniformed security guards there.
When small businesses in Milwaukee apply for a license to sell food, gas, liquor, and more,
there is a guard in a vehicle with lights on.
They often assure city leaders
we do plan on changing some of the staff, some of the security.
Security will be a priority.
So do you have security at this location? Yes, sir.
They have bouncers Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday.
We have private security.
There is security normally at the store.
We have security.
We would like to have a security.
Is seeking security.
They hired a new security, bare minimum 3 to 4 security force.
Added security.
Over the past 2 years, nearly 100 licensed establishments have informed Milwaukee's powerful licenses committee that they employ private security, from bouncers and ID checkers to gas station attendants. Trouble is,
It's a regular guy from the neighborhood.
nobody ever follows up
This your guy? This your friend?
to find out who they're actually hiring.
How are all these stores having people that just regular people off the street pretend to be security?
In a license renewal hearing last spring, the owner of Titonia Food and Gas testified that he had hired a new full-time security guard
I have a local guy from the neighborhood.
who was supposed to be unarmed.
Better to have a security guard without the arms there. They try to defuse the situation properly than the security guard with a gun.
William Pinkin had just been paroled weeks earlier for a 1989 murder. And as he guarded the gas station on August 23rd, police say he did have a gun and used it to kill 29-year-old Isaiah Allen for shoplifting Little Debbie snack cakes.
You can't have like convicted murderers or a murderer period doing security.
Prosecutors charged Pinkin with homicide. The city revoked the gas station's license, and Allen's Aunt Carisha and Mother Natalie embarked on a mission to change the way Milwaukee regulates security guards.
Because we had to lose something so dear, we're very passionate about this.
This gonna help everybody.
Out of this tragedy, this legislation was born.
In March, Alderwoman Andrea Pratt drafted a new ordinance that requires for the first time that security personnel be licensed by the city,
As well as undergo a thorough background check.
Cogs.
Aye.
Rainey. Aye. Samaripa.
Aye.
The Common Council approved it unanimously.
15 ayes.
But almost immediately,
It's a bad law.
the business community pushed back.
The amount of red tape in the city of Milwaukee that small businesses have to jump through, the hoops they have to jump through just to make a living, it's quite ridiculous.
Attorney Emil Obiageli represents 4 nightclubs and 1 towing company who are suing to have Milwaukee's new ordinance declared unconstitutional.
You have a law that discounts at least 1 out of every 4 black and brown persons in the city of Milwaukee.
He says the law discriminates against convicted felons by threatening to keep them from engaging in their chosen field of employment.
That is absolute nonsense.
The lead plaintiff is 34-year-old Brandon Miller, a bouncer at Revel Bar in Bayview. In 2017, prosecutors charged Miller with forcing his girlfriend's head underwater until she couldn't breathe, then punching her in the face and knocking her unconscious because dinner wasn't ready.
He already has a high disposition of violence.
Miller was convicted of domestic violence, causing substantial bodily harm. Should somebody like that be working security?
No.
You're using an alleged crime.
No, a conviction.
You're using an alleged crime.
A conviction.
A conviction.
That's very different from an allegation. Earlier this month, Miller was convicted of a second felony, this time for using a false identity to steal a $50,000 Dodge Ram from a dealership. A fake ID from a guy whose job is to check for fake IDs.
Why would you want that person in your establishment?
Miller is currently serving a 90-day sentence with work release. In a phone call with the FOX6 investigators, he said guys like him make the best security guards, as opposed to some licensed guards who are, quote, so little and so timid and can't do the job correctly. In Milwaukee, Miller estimates, quote, 80% of everyone that is working right now doing security are felons, end quote. And without them, he predicts a lot of clubs will be forced to close.
You keep making this about Brendan Miller because you know...
Because he's your plaintiff. Ovbiageli says the bigger problem is burdensome regulation. And on that point, the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce agrees. In a written statement, MMAC's Vice President Andrew Davis writes that the new security ordinance, quote, makes Milwaukee the most difficult city in Wisconsin for employers to hire security staff, end quote. The president of MMAC is former Wisconsin Assemblyman Dale Kayinga. In 2015, Representative Kayinga teamed up with Senator Van Wanggaard on a new law that blocks cities in Wisconsin from creating any new professional licenses. The law was aimed at the city of Milwaukee.
Based on the law you passed in 2015, do you believe this ordinance is illegal?
Yes.
Wanggaard says the state already regulates security guards.
If it's already licensed under state statute, they can't just create their own license.
Last year, a FOX6 investigation found the state has just 9 consumer protection investigators to police dozens of professions, including private security, which has more than 7,000 licensees alone. And attorney William Sultan says the state isn't doing its job.
The state is failing. The state is failing to provide checks for who's being hired to perform private security, holding private security companies accountable.
He represents the Allen family.
You're saying the state law is not working?
It's not working. It's ineffective.
If it was, Allen says, her son would still be alive.
He wouldn't have got shot by a convicted murderer, having a gun, pretending to be security.
I think there is a way to get this right.
If there's a problem, Ovbiageli says the solution is in Madison, not Milwaukee. Senator Wanggaard agrees.
Well, then that's something we need to look at.
But Carisha and Natalie Allen say promises are not enough.
I have a local guy from the neighborhood.
The only thing that will bring them a sense of security
We're going to take this all away.
is action.
It's going to help another mother where she don't have to bury her child.
The plaintiffs suing the city asked a judge to put the new ordinance on hold while their lawsuit progresses, but Judge Brittany Grayson declined to issue that temporary injunction earlier this month. So the new Milwaukee security ordinance remains in effect for now. The parties are due back in court August 1st.
Brian, what does this mean for security guards and those small businesses? Is there a process for them to get one of these city licenses?
Well, the law is in effect right now. I mean, it technically is in effect, but is it actually happening? There is an application for private security personnel licenses on the city's website. It's now $35, by the way, instead of the original plan, which was to charge $100 a license. But so far, the city's website does not list anyone who's actually obtained one of these new licenses. So it's not entirely clear if they're doing it yet. They did say in the lawsuit or in court that it will come up each time a business comes before the council and says they have security. At that time, the people that they represent as security guards will have to be licensed.
Do you know the penalty for not having a licensed now city's security worker?
The penalty would be against the business that has, say, a Class B tavern license or something like that.
They could lose the license.
Potentially. What exactly the penalty would be, I admit I'm not clear on at the moment, but it would be against the licensee, which is the business, not the individual. They're the ones who are responsible.
Right, the business is the one who did the hiring.
That's right, yeah.
All right, Brian, very interesting. We'll see where it goes from here.
Right.
Thanks.
Got it.